Worry lines can run deep. With increasing commodity prices, higher price volatility, and rising input costs, America's farmers rely on crop insurance to protect their crops and livestock. Crop insurance, providing peace of mind now and for the next generation of agriculture.
Congressman Richard Hudson of North Carolina's 8th District, thanks so much for being here.
Great to be with you. Thank you.
First off, could you tell us just a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm in my first term in Congress. I was elected last November. I represent the 8th District of North Carolina, which is a district that stretches across south central North Carolina from Charlotte to I-95 in the east and north to Salisbury and Lexington and Thomasville. So it's a very diverse district. It starts out in the suburbs and then becomes very rural very quick. Agriculture is the #1 industry in our district as well as in our state. And so I'm very focused on those issues.
Could you tell us a bit about your background in agriculture?
Well, my family is heavily involved in agriculture. My dad had 6 brothers and sisters, and he's the black sheep who didn't stay on the farm. But all of my uncles and cousins are involved in agriculture. And so I grew up in that kind of background. My granddaddy was a tobacco farmer in eastern North Carolina and raised hogs as well. And so I've got a lot of family ties to agriculture and certainly grown up around agriculture and understood the importance of it and also the challenges that you face. You work hard, you plan, and then a weather event can wipe all that away. And but it's a great way of life. And so I'm an advocate for rural America.
As you mentioned, your district is pretty rural, and you also serve on the subcommittee that deals with rural issues. Could you talk a bit about what it means to you to represent a rural community?
Well, I think the rural way of life is being eroded in this country as more people move to cities. You got a lot more urban representatives in Congress. I think it's important that those of us from rural areas are a strong voice for our way of life and for the agriculture industry, agribusiness. And so, every opportunity I can, I try to remind people that milk doesn't come from the grocery store. And, the food that we enjoy every night was produced by someone, and we want to make sure that it's produced here in America.
Yesterday you finished up with the House Agriculture markup of the Farm Bill. Could you talk about a bit about your priorities for that piece of legislation?
Well, the first thing is we've got to have a 5-year farm bill so that we have some certainty for our producers out there, so they know what the rules are going to be, and so they can plan ahead. Farmers and people in the agri-industries are business people, and they operate like normal business people. You need to be able to look down the road and predict your cost and plan ahead. And so having the certainty of a 5-year bill is critical. Also, having that crop insurance being a strong and viable piece of the farm bill is important also to our access to capital for agribusiness. And so having a strong crop insurance that's flexible enough that it's worked for folks in the Southeast was a high priority of mine. And also trying to control the spending, cut the growth in the food stamps and the nutrition side of the farm bill, which represents nearly 85% of the total spending. And we've made some reforms, we've made some progress. We're cutting $20 billion out of that program. Frankly, I think we need to do more, but this is a good first step.
Any disappointments yesterday that you're going to be pushing for once the bill actually gets to the House floor?
Well, I hoped we could have cut a little more out of the nutrition side of the bill, and I worked very hard to reform those programs because there are people out there that need help, that can't take care of themselves. There are people that need the assistance from the SNAP program, for example. And we need to take care of those people. But there's a lot of other people out there that don't qualify and don't deserve the program, and they're taking advantage of it. And so they're stealing money from the people who deserve it. And so I want to make sure that we're operating that program for the people who need it, and we're not wasting a lot of money on folks who don't. And frankly, I think we need to do a better job of controlling who gets on the program, and we need to be a better steward of the taxpayers' dollars.
As you know, last year we didn't quite get that farm bill done. What do you think the likelihood is going to be this year?
I'm optimistic. There's a lot of politics at play here. I personally would love to see the nutrition side split off from the program side, and let's have 2 separate bills. There's not enough will to do that. And also, to cobble together the votes to get a farm bill done, you need urban folks who care about the nutrition side, and you need rural folks who understand the importance of the program side. And there's lots of folks who are conservatives like me who think, we've got to be careful how much we're spending. And so you've got to sort of thread the needle of cutting enough to satisfy the conservatives to get their votes, but not cutting too much because then you lose the Democrats. And so we've got to get a bill that's as responsible as possible that can get through the House.
Last but not least, what has surprised you most about being in the House thus far?
The pace. We're busy. I just had to rush over here from a committee hearing. I've got to rush back over there to vote. We've got a lot going on when you're in town. That's just one more reason why I love to go home every weekend, so I can get back out into the real world and talk to real people.
Congressman Richard Hudson from North Carolina's 8th District, thanks so much for making time in that busy schedule.
Thank you.